side.
Yeah.
It really works.
Cool. This might be rudimentary for some players, but for some people who don't know, how would we start with, say, a one-string hammer-on?
Okay, let's start on the high E string. We'll play in E minor, you know, that E pentatonic. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start by picking the E on the 12th fret, and then hammering F sharp, G, and A, like so. You want to try and, you know, obviously you grab, like I said to grab, but you want to try and hit the note so it is just as loud as, you know, the other notes
Nice
that you
even
hit.
attack.
Exactly. Same thing going down, except you're pulling off.
Right.
Okay? All pull-offs going down.
Now, when you were first learning to tap, did you go about it slowly? I mean, everyone sees people, you know, going crazy and playing real fast. I mean,
Yeah.
do you recommend that a player start slow?
I started by just tapping one note, you know. Doing that kind
Yeah.
of thing, you know. That was the in thing for a while.
Now, how do we put it all together?
Yeah, you put it all together, and it sounds something like this. And fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing on the B string. If you do it on the B string, on the G string, still in E minor. And you can put it all together, and you're like. But you
right.
got to figure out.
You're going string to string now.
That's right. You got to figure out how to get to the next string.
Cross-string tapping.
Yes. And when you get to the next string, there's two ways you can do it. You can either hammer on with the finger of your left hand or hammer on with the finger of your right hand.
Okay.
And I do both at different times. Like in Madeleine, which is pretty much the same lick that I was playing before, you do the same lick, and then you hammer a D on the B string, like so. So it's done. One more time. Just like that. Now you're on the next string.
Right.
And you continue with the tapping. So. Same thing to get to the G string. You play an A on the G string. Same thing on the D string. You play an E on the D string by hammering. The whole thing again. And of course,
To speed.
yeah, it's a speed, right? And I do that in Madeleine.
Now, if I wanted to go string to string using the right hand as my guide.
Right. You do that. I do it with the tapping finger. You know. Sort of like this. Okay. So what I do is I have a tap note with my left-hand finger I'm holding, and then I just go and tap a note on the next string with the right-hand finger.
Okay.
Like so. Okay?
Okay.
I'll do it all the way down the neck. So like. You just kind of pick notes and hit them with your right hand, but, you know, do it on the next string down.
Anybody who's seen you play the solo to 17 has seen kind of a cool thing that you do. It's a real flashy tapping up technique.
Right. It's something that I just figured out myself because I really wanted to be able to fly up a scale.
Yeah.
But I never could do it And I see these guys who use their first finger to do it. They hammer on with their first finger to get up to the next string.
Right.
But I can never do that because when I play, my first finger hangs out too, just like my pinky does. Pretty much, you know, it just bars the strings. You know, I really don't move it much. So I'm not used to moving it, and I don't want to have to learn how to move it. So what I did was, I figured out a way to go up using the ring finger of my right hand, pulling off the next string. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You go up a E minor scale, let's say, okay, and you're on a tapped note, and you fret the next note up in the scale, but lightly, you know. Fret the next note and pull off with the ring finger of your right hand, like that. So it sounds like. Now, I get a really smooth sound this way.
Yeah.
One thing you have to remember when you're doing it though, is take your tapping finger off of the string when you're pulling off with your ring finger, like so. Okay? I'm taking it off, but I take it off and I rest it on the string like so. I guess I don't rest it on the string. I take it off. I take my hand off so it doesn't ring out. It's going up fast. And I can just, when I go up a scale, I can go up it and then go back down on one string like this.
You also do that in Headed for Heartbreak, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's in a Mixolydian scale, and that's like this. In C sharp? Yeah. So you can see me pulling off the next string with the ring finger of my right hand.
A lot of people who, you know, tap tend to sound the same. It's almost like they're not putting enough imagination into it. What kind of, you know, little tricks do you have maybe to break some cliches?
I have a couple things that I do. One of them is I move the tapping finger around. I don't just tap the same note all the time. Like, I don't just go.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's moving this bottom one, but I try and move the tap finger around. You know, like kind of like that.
Already, there's more variety to that than what a lot of guys do. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's another thing?
Maybe sliding it to different notes. Sort of like one thing I do. If you watch it when I'm going down the scale, I'll do a little slide now. You know, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And sliding around, that helps.
And double taps.
Oh yeah, double taps. You know, so you can do the same thing on any of the strings. This thing really helps. This is a great way to get out of that, you know, cliche tapping kind of thing. You can do it with two fingers too here. You know, instead of just. That's a little bit boring.
Yeah.
If you go like. Okay, if you're doing something like that. That works really great. And you can do it like.
So you would encourage players to really, you know, have fun with their own ideas and throw in different rhythmic patterns and
Absolutely.
just not really do the boxed-in little things that they see.
Branch out.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, well, I try. So I've got an example here of tapping, and I'll try and use all of the techniques that we just described.